How do doors work in multiplayer games? Although it seems easy, there is a ton of work that goes into making sure that all players in the game see the same thing when a door is opened or closed. So without further ado, let's get right into part one of this tutorial that will take you through the process from start to finish to get you the result that you're seeing right now. Alright, so we find ourselves in Jira. So create that door BP class and fill out that description. We're just going to be getting some assets, making some changes, making the blueprint, and that'll be it. And as you can see, it's an art and engineering task. And we're going to put it in the interactions epic. And this should close out that epic for us, which is going to be pretty great. So I hope you're excited about that. And now we are going to move that into our board, just like so. And now we'll move over to our board, throw this into in progress, and we'll get started. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is get some sound assets. And that brings us to this link, which I'll put in the description, where a creator called Filmcow made a very good sound library that is royalty free. So we're going to use that, and certainly donate to him if you have the capability of doing so as I download them here. Don't worry, before this video comes out, I'm going to donate to him. But for now, I'm just going to throw a link to his channel in the description. He's a great creator and does some good stuff, so definitely support him as we take these assets. And now we're back on free sound, like we did when we got the footstep sounds. And I kind of like this door locked sound, so we're going to use that. So go into this little pack here, and we'll pop out door locked 1, 2, and 3 by this creator, Sky Mori. And he has that Creative Commons license too, so that's perfect. And this will kind of be the sound when the door is locked and you try to open it. So the little jiggling sound on a locked door. And that's what we need these 3 for. And we'll hop into our downloads and cut these. And then go into our non-engine content, audio. Make a new folder. Call it door sounds. And we'll throw these in here. And now we're going to hop over to the Epic Games Marketplace and search for Old West Volume 6. And this is going to be our door meshes, basically. And don't worry, I'm only going to use things in the permanently free category on the Marketplace. I won't ask you guys to buy things. That's just not what this course is about. So we press Add, Show All Projects, and click on Hide, Seek, Survive. And remember, we're version 5.3, and Add to Project. And I already have this downloaded, so mine's going to go faster than yours, but yours should work the same way with no issues. And before we import these assets, we're going to hop over into our Excel credits document, which you remember is in our non-engine content documentation folder. And we're going to add some new lines, and make sure that you check this out in Perforce before you make changes, or else you're not going to be able to save the file. So do that before you open the credits file, but then once you've checked it out, go in here and paste in these lines. Just copy them in, and then we've properly attributed all the content we're importing, and we're all set. And next up, we need to move all this over to the non-engine content. So just copy those 3 sounds from your downloads folder and make a folder called door sounds and paste that in. And now we're all set there. And unfortunately, when I was recording the Filmcow part, so extracting those zip folders and moving them here, as you can see in the audio folder, I accidentally wasn't recording my entire desktop, so you couldn't see me doing it. So just extract those folders from the downloads, it'll be a zip file, and extract all to the little Filmcow folder that you can see here in this picture. So that's the process, so very similar to what I'm showing, but just wanted to give you guys a little explanation on how to do that, and I'll do my best to not botch the recording moving forward. Just unfortunately, you only have one shot at this, so it is what it is. And now we find ourselves inside of Unreal, and we need to import these. So we'll go into sound waves and make a folder and call it door sounds. And we're going to dump in our 3 sounds here. So we'll go over to our not documentation, but into audio, footstep sounds, door sounds. And we'll drag those 3 in, and that's it. And now we're going to quickly check to make sure those Western meshes made it in here. So content, and then it should be called Old West. And then we can filter by static meshes. And let's keep scrolling. And yeah, so here's the door 6A and 6B. So those are what we're going to be using for our doors. So those are there, so good stuff. And this also falls under the botched recording of importing the Filmcow assets. But thankfully, importing them is even easier than importing the sound assets was. All you have to do is go to the content folder and drop in the folder from your audio that we exported a few steps ago. So just drop that right into the content folder, and all of them should auto-generate just like they do here. And just to show you, we'll click into the folder that it made, and we just press Control A and Control S and make sure they all save. Just like that. And we moved them to the lower level folder because, as you can see, it created 2 folders for some reason. And we can just delete the folder. Yeah, it's just cleaner to have them in that top level, just the designed SFX. So we'll leave it like that. And now we'll make another folder for the recorded SFX. So just Filmcow, recorded SFX. And we'll click into there. And now we literally just open up the File Explorer. Again, you can't see this because I'm recording the window, not the whole display. But just Control A on all the sound assets. So there'll be the sound waves. And just drag them in. That's what I do here. So drag them right into the drop files here, or right click to create content. And then I'll skip ahead until it's done loading. Alright, so they're all in, and again, don't panic if your game gets kind of locked up a little bit. Just let it do its thing, and they'll all import eventually. This is a lot of files, so it can take a while. And then we press Control AS, and it'll save all of them, like you're seeing here. And then now we've imported all the sound files, so we're looking good. So now we're going to create a couple of classes that we're going to need. So we're going to go to CCS Core, and unfortunately this is also part of the botched recording, so bear with me here. We're going to go to Interactions, and we're going to make a class that will be a subclass of our interactable actor CCS. And it is going to be called Door CCS. And it is going to be in our Interactions folder in a subfolder called Interactable Actors. And then you'll create the class like you normally do. And I'm going to skip ahead until it's already created so you can see the final name and folder structure. So as you can see, our Door CCS is made, and it's in the Interactions in that subfolder. And thankfully, I realized what was happening here. So when we make this new class, which is just going to be another none, and it's the interactable actor interface CCS. So just create that. But as you can see again, that door CCS is in a subfolder called interactable actors. So just make sure you create that, and I'll skip ahead until it's done. And now that we have all our classes made, we're going to hop right into our C++ changes and into the character CPP. And we're just going to change the seeker component to use the door channel instead of the temporary one we had. And you'll see we're going to update the comment as well, because we're just going to be looking for that door interaction. So just update that just like this, no big deal. And then next up, we have the interactable actor, and we need to throw in the include for the interactable actor interface. So just like that. And once that include is in, we can scroll down a little bit and actually apply that interface to our actor. And don't worry about the red underline. We haven't defined the interface yet, so that's going to appear, but don't worry, once we do that, it'll go away. And then we'll scroll down a little bit, and below at the end of our public section, we'll paste in the actual functions. So as you can see, we have our interact function, and then we have our interact local function. And both of these are going to take in a key and an actor that is interacting with the interactable actor. And how they differ is interact is only going to be sent on the server. So when that gets called, we basically say to the server, hey, an interaction was performed. But on the other hand, interact local is sent only on the local client. And if it's not clear to you why we need the interact local function, it's basically because when the player makes an action, we want them to get instant feedback. Because obviously, if you press open door and then we have to wait for the server to open the door, that is just very unsatisfying for the player. And we want to avoid that, obviously. So having both the local and the server interact that is then replicated down to all the other clients basically gives us the best of both worlds. So the server and all the clients are up to date, and the owning client gets that instant feedback. And you'll see more about how this is implemented once we get into the interaction seeker component changes. So now that we're done with that, we can make some more changes. And we're going to paste in, so this is a new array of booleans that basically indicates how many times the action can be taken. So for example, doors, we can perform the action over and over again, obviously, because we want to be able to open and close the door. But when we have something like if we want to explode a bomb, we only want to be able to do that a single time. So that's kind of why we need that flag to tell us when we're performing the action. Okay, should we allow this to happen more than once or no? And then also at the end here, note that we updated the box extent to be 0 by default. So this way, we're going to make another change to this function to implement this, basically. But we want the value that we set in blueprints to be the value that it is by default. So more on this, but for now, just make that change and take my word for it. And now we'll move over to the .cpp, and again, go to the end of the public section. And then we're going to define our interact and interact local functions. And as you can see, we're not doing anything in either one because we want the child classes, like our door, to define these, what should happen when each of these interactions are called. And with that being said, we are going to call it a day for today. And I'll be back tomorrow with part 2 of this tutorial, where we'll continue our hard work on the C++ changes we need to make to get these doors working. And with all that being said, thank you as always for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.